Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a close look at South Africa's National Ports Act. That's Act number 12 of 2005.
Yeah, we've got the actual government gazette here from, August 2005.
That's the one. And our mission really is just to get our heads around this key law.
Yeah.
What bodies did it create? What was it trying to achieve?
Okay, let's jump in. I think the first thing that stands out is how it sets up two really distinct players.
Right. It wasn't just about, managing the ports themselves. There's an oversight piece too.
Exactly. So first you've got the National Ports Authority.
Okay.
And its setup was interesting. It sort of evolved, didn't it? From potentially being its own thing, then part of Transnet.
Yeah, and then finally becoming this public company, National Ports Authority Limited. Their job is basically owning, managing, controlling the ports.
The landlord and operator, essentially. But then, crucially, you have the ports regulator.
It's a completely separate entity.
Completely separate, yeah. Legal personality, the works. Their focus is economic regulation, making sure access is fair.
And keeping tabs on the authority.
Precisely. That separation is fundamental to the Act's structure.
So what were the big goals? What was this Act actually trying to do?
Well, the main aim was, broadly, a more effective, more productive ports industry.
Makes sense.
Better governance, more efficiency, transparency, and separating that landlord role from the day-to-day operations.
That's separation again. Why was that so important, do you think?
Accountability, mainly. Clearer lines of responsibility. But it wasn't just high-level stuff. No, it also aimed to, get employees more involved, push for new technology.
Oh, interesting.
And even support regional integration, connecting with neighboring countries.
Okay, so which ports fall under this?
The Act lists the main ones we know. Richards Bay, Durban, East London, Aquara,
Port Elizabeth, Mossel Bay?
Cape Town, Saldanha Bay, Port Nolloth too. And it allows the Minister of Transport to designate others later on.
Got it. So what does the authority do, practically speaking, on the ground?
Their job is huge. Planning, providing, maintaining infrastructure, thinkways, channels, that sort of thing.
Okay.
They also control land use within the port boundaries, manage leases, make sure utilities are there.
And regulation.
Yeah, big regulatory role within the port limits. Navigation, ship movements, cargo handling, safety, pollution.
Wow. Right.
And they're the ones issuing licenses for port services and facilities.
Right. So switching gears, what's the regulator's main function then?
Economic regulation. That's their core mandate. Ensuring the financial side of the port system works well, works fairly.
Promoting equity of access too, you say?
Absolutely. Fair access to the ports, the facilities, the services for everyone involved.
And if someone has an issue with the authority, a complaint or an appeal?
That goes to the regulator. They hear appeals against authority decisions, investigate complaints.
Okay.
And critically, they approve the tariffs, the fees the authority charges.
Let's touch on some of the maybe finer points.
Yeah.
That whole process of setting up the authority through different company forms.
Yeah, that step-by-step incorporation and conversion is spelled out. It wasn't just immediate.
Seems deliberate. And there's a real focus on fairness in agreements for services, isn't there?
Very much so. Section 56 really emphasizes fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, cost-effective procedures.
Trying to avoid closed shops, basically.
Pretty much. Level the playing field. And they handled existing operators too, right? Giving them deemed licenses at the start.
Yeah, like a placeholder, but they had to apply properly later.
Another interesting bit is the authority's power to change land use within the ports, even renegotiate long leases.
To boost efficiency, I guess. Or bring in new players.
Both, potentially. And there's specific mention of promoting participation by historically disadvantaged groups.
Right, and that link with the Competition Commission.
Yes, the regulator has to negotiate an agreement with the CompCom to sort out who handles what regarding competition issues. Avoids overlap.
Smart. What about safety?
Covered too. Specific regulations, and the harbor master gets clear authority.
Makes sense. And those committees. Port consultative committees.
Yeah, and a national one too. They're there for communication, getting input from stakeholders.
Giving people a voice.
Exactly. And one last detail, protection from liability. The Act shields the authority and its people if they act in good faith.
Standard practice, but important. So, Tariffs Authority proposes, regulator approves.
That's the gist of it, yeah. Section 72 and 73 lay that out.
Okay, so boiling it all down, the key takeaway is, this act created a pretty thorough framework, didn't it?
Absolutely. Governance, operations, regulation, all aimed at making South African ports efficient, growing the economy, and ensuring fair access. It's comprehensive.
It really is. So here's a final thought to leave you with. This structure was set up back in 2005, nearly 2 decades ago now.
Time flies.
Thinking about how fast global trade changes and all the new maritime tech coming online, how might this act need to evolve in the future? And, what are the ongoing debates around getting that balance right between state control and private involvement in these crucial gateways? Something to think about. Thanks for joining this deep dive.